Hello, how's everybody doing out there? I hope you're doing fine. And I'm here to make another video, and it's concerning with the latest thing. This is a big thing that's going on across the internet about a man in Atlanta, and he was at a restaurant, and he was put out of a restaurant because of the kind of attire was on his feet. He was wearing shoes. There were other people wearing sneakers or tennis shoes, but this particular man and his girlfriend got put out of the restaurant. And the man who happened to be put out of the restaurant was an African American male and sound like a female, and they were there on for a birthday party. I think it was some kind of engagement or party, something like that. This is at a Japanese restaurant, and so the owners, which is, they say one of them is an Iranian, but it was some Japanese Asian fellows was there to help tell him he have to leave because he didn't have the appropriate attire. And it was a big controversial case. And so this one, I was listening to a few videos about this, and people was coming away with this. And so they asked a celebrity, a well-known rapper called T.I., and he's in the music industry. He's been in videos and movies and things like that. So the owners so once this thing started getting flat, the owners went out and grabbed T.I. and basically see if they can have some transparency. What went on with this man and this couple? Why would this specific couple was put out the restaurant when the other people had the same kind of shoes on, and they were mostly white, and this gentleman and his fiance was black. And it seemed like it's a big controversy about that. This happened in Atlanta, Georgia, which they say is not too far, one of Atlanta's suburbs down there. From what I've heard, to report the story, and it's not really surprising. But hearing stuff like that, you hear about this once in a while. See, there is in America, money counts, and people feel, and no matter how the money and credit card or currency come across people's desks, they want to smile on your face, but they really don't like you. There are some people in this world is not going to like certain groups of people, but they don't mind because they have a business, and they don't want no one right now in the middle of a down economy wants to hear about someone being discriminated against any group of people, whether they race, their sexual orientation, or their religion, or something like that, which is unjustifiably so. No one wants to get discriminated against. But you have what in a society called a totem pole classification, and sometimes it's based on skin tone. So the perception of, and a lot of the things have to do with it, is the media looking at different groups of people as a threat. Black people, when they see black people doing something on TV, it's not just white people, but there's other people that pay attention, and maybe they feel like they don't want to come across some of these different groups of people don't want to come across blacks because they're wild. I'm just going to come out, and they don't really want to deal with it. But when they come into the restaurant, they have to, into their establishment, they have to put on a smile. Not that everybody, but there's certain individuals out of these certain groups of people that do. I've seen it in various places, in various businesses. And one thing about black people, wherever we go, we want to be loved, and we want to be accepted. That's just in our nature. We just want to be treated as equal. Which just everybody should everybody get treated as equal. And we think that when we get a little money or we have a successful job, it's still never irrelevant enough with not just one particular group of people, which is common to say black versus white, but see other people have learned to jump on the gravy train to say that they come against these people because based on the classification. And even though you could be a black person who has good character, have a good education, but if you're an unknown person, if you don't make a certain amount of money, and you're not a celebrity, you're gonna get treated as the worst. You have to become what they call their favorite black. Okay, this is their favorite black person. Everybody else is dirty blacks. The dirty blacks. You don't want all the dirty blacks. And this is what they. And one thing about America, some people choose to have this mindset about the dirty blacks. I've encountered this throughout my lifetime. It's hilarious that it's like why do you have to single out a certain people? We should be judged upon content of our character and things like that, right? But see, people say one thing, and I always say this, they display another thing. So for years, and so there's a segment of the black community that saw this, and they kind of got in an uproar about what T.I. did. T.I., who is the representative, supposed to be representing his community. But the thing about it was a miscommunication because he never communicated with the man that was kicked out of the place. He just talked to the owner of the place, and the owner he heard his side of the story. And every time I noticed this, and this one sister made a good point about racial, and I made a video about this racial sensitive training. Why does someone need a racial sensitive training to treat another human being right? Regardless of what your apparel is, regardless of what your sexuality is, regardless of if there were two gay men or two Muslim men or two Muslim women or Jewish people or any other people, why I said whatever my biased opinion is, I should lay that to the side. And then let's say I don't care if they were let's say gypsies, they deserve some doggone respect. What is with people that think that you can come into a community of people or some community of people that in Atlanta is different walks of life of people. There are black middle class and there are black lower class. But you see, people, and some black people don't see that it's a class thing. And so when they see someone represent you, it's something about the appearance that's disturbed them, because maybe one of their friends and relatives got carjacked in the city and it was some black person. Maybe someone did something and it was some young ignorant individual who did something to them, and that puts up a wall against them. No, because I'm explain this whole, so they want to justify the prejudice. Let me say this. I had people from all, not just white people, from all what showed me their ass. What I mean by that, they showed me that they didn't like me. But for every person, because of something that I've encountered, what I see a group of people do on TV, it doesn't give me the right to mistreat somebody and just signal them out if they come among the people, particularly if they come into my business. And and they come with some company, they're not singling them out because and say, well, this is because they don't have on the right shoes, and then look at everybody else have the same kind of attire, which other people came in there some comfortable. They had, probably, some people wear a sports jacket or dress and they're wearing some shoes and they allow that to happen. And they make up, but when someone else of a different race or a particular culture come in, and it's because they subjected to, and even though that these people come among their friends and family, they were singled out at this restaurant. And now now this particular restaurant in Atlanta don't want no blowback because they see what happened over in South Africa when they said, remember Coolest Monkey on the Jungle, and they showed a little black boy, and here they are in South Africa, and Dick someone wasn't gonna catch on to the cool little monkey, and then they showed the white boy. They showed him as the like the lion trainer or something like that. But they called the black boy, the monkey, and then that was not one thing they did. They made this disproportion about black people in South Africa, about women's clothing, and I think it was something with the clothing or the hair. And what they did was, so the EFFF over in South Africa shut their store down. And then here's the funny part about people who want to do racist stuff against people who are dark melanated persuasion. They all of a sudden, when a segment of black people who have common sense enough to know, okay, if that's how you directly feel and that's how you think lowly of us, then maybe we should shop. Wait a minute, hold on. Maybe we can do some goes back to that sensitivity training. Why do I have to train another human being how to treat me with respect? That would be like me. Look, if you come across my path, whatever race or whatever accent you got, and what I need to push my inner feelings to a side as a human being, especially if I'm a man of God. Despite all these other people that do stuff to us as a people, but I give them the same courtesy and respect, no matter if they look like they come from India, Asia, Africa, any other people. Or Latin America. I give people respect, but some people need to learn to give respect back to people. And one thing I can say is God gave everybody common sense. You should have no sensitivity in treating another human being. That should be culture worldwide. You go to another, I don't care if you go on a freaking island full of people and they have butt ass naked, you give them some freaking respect. What sense did that make? We need sensitivity, but you out there making fun of their customs. You out there making fun of because they just something that they could be mocked and be mocked all over the world. So it ain't no sense of, and I agree, ain't no sense of burning your business down. Ain't no sense of jumping on you. There's no sense of that, because you're going to prove that the people that you can rattle my skin, because you get up under my skin, especially if you're that kind of person who is racist and you have underlying racist stereotype about someone that look like me. So since you think to the people of these other different groups, I would say these individuals in these other different groups, to African Americans, stop going in the freaking business. Stop going in the freaking business. If they in your neighborhood, go shop in the main franchise. Go to the stores. Stop going to these stores and buying your food. And if you can, take someone. I'd rather see you go to a Dollar General, okay, or Family Dollar, and at least you're shopping in an area where people look like you. I mean, it's crazy that people are just. Hold on 1 minute. Oh shit. Yeah. It's crazy how people have this sensitive culture, and they don't understand that there's other people that like these people down in Georgia that other customers coming through the door, and just because they dress a certain way and they dress in it, that you have to throw them out. Now they had appropriate attire. Why is it that you have to kick them out of your place? And so, but my suggestion is stop trying to be people who are racist. If they're racist, leave them alone. And I would counter that, because if you're a human being that can see that God put me in this color and put me in this skin to be in essence, then I don't need to make you no money. I don't need to spend my hard-earned dollar, however I get it, to make you feel like you above me, because you need to suffer the consequences of someone who's in the same. And it's time for people to get this mindset going, that and we have to do for our own. And that's the truth. You have to go with your own people. And I've been in situations at churches, I've been in businesses where people, and I've seen that spirit. That's why I recognize it. And it's not one particular group of people. It's manifesting. Is in other groups of people who have this way, but yet they want a part of the capital. They want part of your business, but they want to mistreat you and talk about you like a dog in their own language, whatever. And it's sad. So for anybody, this should be the year. And if you can speak and understand the language, or you see the gesture or demeanor, I suggest you expose them and let other people know. If they're going to be racist like that, expose them. It's time to expose these people. Don't beat around the bush. And it's time for your exposure. And see, and tell these individuals, if you're going to be like that, you ain't getting a damn dime off of me. And like I said, and I wish in the black community they would go out and, like I said, and go shop in stores that people look like you, in good place with people where they eat that look like you, that's someone that represents you, that they at least have some type of respect for you. Because if they don't have people that look like you, then they obviously, most of them don't respect you. You know, that's just common sense. It's simple entrepreneurship. But we need to stop making up excuses and stuff for these people. It doesn't. Just analogically, I'm just gonna hate some group of people, not like them because something I seen on the news, on TV, or maybe one of my friends or relatives encountered somebody. So I'm gonna execute my prejudice when they come into and they're gonna just because I speak a secondary language, they ain't gonna understand what I'm saying. But here's what every human being misses the point. It's not what you say, it's what you display. Because see, somebody who have inner bigotry, and they may not speak English too well. God gave the human race, gave his people common sense to see things. So just because you speak a different language, trust me. And people say they don't know what the hell we talk about. Da, 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 da. But whatever you do, God will reveal it in time to the people who are. And then he takes note of it. I was at a church where, there were some people who were Latino had this kind of feeling. And it's because I didn't understand Spanish. And I said, yeah, they may not understand. I may not understand Spanish, but what you didn't understand is the God that I serve knows your language, and the God that I serve understands every language in the land. And I said, these ignorant individuals, and this is throughout the human race. You think just because you come from a different part of the world, we all speak different languages, obviously from different cultures and everything else. But one thing that God gives us all in common, if somebody starts saying something and projecting something, he knows the language. So when some of these people who are prejudiced, this has happened to me in the white church as well, it happened to me in the Hispanic church as well. What you don't understand is this. Yeah, you may have your language, but God understands all languages. He understands the code, and he knows when someone who's even speaking the same language talk about somebody behind someone's back. And therefore, in the end, it's going to cost them something. And it can cost them something in their marriage. It can cost something among their family, just because you speaking against somebody and you mocking them, making fun of them. So God knows. And someone never put it to you this way. God understands the languages. Why do you think he has someone like the Holy Spirit? You dumbass. If you think, and these are for the people who just think that they can just speak and just talk about, and this is to the people who are racist and prejudiced. Why do you think that he has the Holy Spirit? Why do you think that if someone get into the Spirit, they can say a praise in a language that they're not even familiar, they don't even speak the language, and it comes clearly in that language? That's evidence of the Spirit of God, and that's in the Bible. This is the truth. So whatever people that's on the planet Earth, God have a person that can pray and speak in that native language in prayer. They may not understand, so that means that person can be marked by God. See, this is what racist people don't understand this. Prejudiced people don't understand this. See, that's why I said you should use wisdom. Now, getting back to the situation is, black people are part of the human race. Black people, there should not be, can continue to be treated like a totem pole based on the complexion of the skin. We should be all be treated equal, right? That's what it is. That's what Martin Luther King should be. But sometimes some people, they come over with that mindset. They don't have to follow the rules. They don't have to abide by the rules. Well, that may be so, but one of these days, with these knuckleheads don't understand this, these racists, these people like this, because they think that they can cause and deflect, and they can and then when they've been exposed, they know something about to come down the line. So my solution is this: let their business fall. Let them learn a lesson. Sometimes you got and as African Americans, because they know that we have a slave-minded, we're loving and forgiving people, which is nothing wrong with being loving and forgiving people. But sometimes someone need to pay the price before you can. They need to count up the cost. They need to taught the lesson. Because if you're a child of God, and you do something, he gonna chastise you. He gonna discipline you. What makes you think he won't discipline another person that's not of his kingdom? See, this is where common sense kick in. But in the meantime, if I was somebody, I don't go on and to alleviate all that. This is my solution. I don't go around some of these people because, and I'm not saying that everybody in this race feel that way, but common sense can tell you if you live around the people and you have a business, they're going to come into your business. That's as simple as that. I mean, it's just common sense. But if you think that they're going to be a thief, or they're going to be a robber, or they're going to come to carjack you, or do something because you have to watch them particularly, you don't need to be in that neighborhood. You don't need to be in that neighborhood. You need to get out of that neighborhood. And if those people scare you that bad, and it was something. One thing about segregation, people at that time, they let people know where you stand, and it's like, why? And then it's a part of us say, why does it got to be like that? Because you can't change someone's heart. God can change their heart. If they're gonna be racist and biased, they're gonna be racist and biased. And that's what everybody. It's not one particular group like that. If they're gonna be so to avoid racism and bias, if they're a business owner, avoid them. Don't shop. And you experience that stuff in that business, expose it, and let other people know. And then have the proof. Just so have a witness or two or three witnesses that show you, because some people don't want to believe, like maybe you just being irrational, or you just being maybe you read things the wrong way. No, it comes, racism comes in different forms. Prejudice, bias, and prejudice comes in different forms. It don't come in a singular form. And when people get called out, the first thing they do, they know it's the consequences. And the one thing they think that when it comes, especially particularly when it comes against black people, they think we just gonna beat them up and jump on and burn down the business. No, that's not always the case. When it comes to black people, you discriminate against black people. We have the brains enough to know that the way to hurt you is to boycott you. In some of these racial groups, every racial group has annuity to see this. They see a flow of people coming to their business, especially in a certain area. Especially when you look at the demographic and racial graphic of the neighborhood, they know this. They know who their customers is, and after a while, when you sitting on them, they get some of the people. These people get an ego. I've seen it in some of these businesses, and they get this kind of attitude. They don't even want to wait on you. It's no hi, how you doing? It's just like, like, what you coming up in here for? It's time. And saying when you experience that in some of those people's businesses, regardless of the race or religion, you need to boycott that motherfucker. Excuse my language. You need to boycott it, and go to a business with people that look like you, black people. Seriously, go to the Dollar General store. Go to the Family Dollar. I'm serious. Go to people that understand your language, that understand your culture, that support your neighborhood, that support your causes. Stop giving money to support people that don't support you, that won't hire you, that don't contribute nothing to your neighborhood, that can contribute nothing to your you might have a little boys club. You might have something for your kids. Stop supporting these people, because they think you stupid, they think you dumb, and they think that, and now that the white man opened up their resources to them, that gives them some kind of ego, that think that they can just put their foot on you. after you done had so many people put their foot on you. So it's time. Either is you in it or you all in it. That's the truth. And then when these people start recognizing, start pulling back their businesses, and if they want to cater to the people who feel that they can trust them, they're not going to steal from them, then let them cater to those people, those people out there in the suburb. That what they call the Mzungus, translation white people. They go to school with them. Let them support their nail salons. Let them support their convenience stores. Why do you got to go? Let them do that. Put their liquor stores and stuff out there in the suburbs. Let them do that. Well, as they live high off the hall next to the Joneses, who's a councilman over the district, who's a representative over the district, and his wife's a teacher in the local school district. Why do you got to keep? Why? Why do we have to keep? And as a people, why do we have to keep supporting these people? Spend your money among your own people. If we're the downtrodden people that these people that they could put their foot on, this gives this common sense to me. Just to don't go in their business with some of these people, and you sense that kind of the hostility, like, oh, here come one of these blacks again. And you sense that 9 chances out of 10. As it back up, I don't go in some of these foreign restaurants. Some of these restaurants, if they only, like I mentioned one time, I go to some place. The closest Asian restaurant I go to for Asian food is like a Mongolian, where you can see, Americans working in there for one, black or white working in there. Two, you can see that the meats, the chickens, the spices, and all that stuff is good for your food. And then you can see the people outside who's cooking your food. If they can't see you cooking your food, you don't know what they're putting in your food. And you come back with some kind of food poison and shit. I'm just saying. Or having something where someone openly, that they using the precautionary measures, wearing the mask and wearing gloves, they're serving your food. If you're going to spend that over $10, $15 for your food, especially when you go in some restaurants, even if you go into like a Taco Bell or Wendy's or something like that. I mean, because you don't know what they're doing to your food. You really don't. I mean, especially, and that's the truth. But to get back to that, man, that's and T.I., T.I. should have kind of talked with the man and smooth things over, because that man, that was, he almost got into the fight with the guy. I don't know if the guy's a part owner or one of the owner's friends, but he almost came to blows because he insulted the guy's wife or something like that. He's about to knock this big black dude. He had to be like 6'3". He built like it took 2 men to hold him back. So, and this was in Atlanta. And really, it should have been, T.I. should have went to get both sides of the stories first, instead of just going to the owner. And just really talk with the man, hear his side of the story, and then listen to his side of the story, if he was going to be a mediator with that. But my suggestion is stop trying to run in with these people. Why keep going through that? And like I said, and really, as a safety caution, you need to be careful where you eat at, because some people are not clean. Here in Ohio, I have seen, like, they used to do a report about some of these businesses, and some of them come from some of these foreigners, that they were going to some of their businesses, and they weren't too clean with their bathrooms. They weren't too clean with keeping up their food up at a certain temperature. They weren't too clean. They weren't up apart about that. They didn't like people coming to expose and stuff like that. They wasn't keeping up, and they had the inspectors come in there. So the inspectors would come in there and they see how the cleanliness of the restaurant, the back room, if they see rat droppings or dead roaches or something like that, they shut that stuff down. And you really don't know how clean they are. You don't know if the people who serving you, if they got coronavirus or whatever. You don't know that some of the foreign restaurants, they don't care. The American restaurants, some American restaurants, they're very precautious about their people, because they don't want. But some of the foreigners, all is about money, capital. Cap is about money. And they'll slave one of their own who speak the same language, just for them to make a buck. This is the truth. This goes on in the city. And I ain't against for everybody, but hey, you make your money, support your family, the dollar. What I'm saying is, why give it to someone if they're not supporting you? If they're not supporting your community? If they're not supporting you, why are you supporting them? Because they gonna hire their own people because, number one, they speak their language. Number two, they're from their culture. Number three, when they hire someone of another culture, it's never you. And then when they do hire somebody, they ain't gotta deal with you. This is how their mindset is, but they don't mind taking your money. And this is in some of the businesses I've seen. So the purpose of entrepreneurship, whether it's a store, restaurant, retail, or something like that, or any business, is to have your own. Like I said, black people, you have some of the most talented people that's in your community that can open up and run their own grocery store and give your people the right kind of food, right kind of, make a distribution center. There's some black people that need to support their own gas stations. They're your people that hire and look like you and that respect you and don't have this inner bias towards you, because there's nothing better than someone. Is everybody gonna like you, not like you? Yeah, but it's not like your own. And hopefully someone don't come rob you, whatever race or ethnic background. They don't rob you like they do any other people. Nobody should have to be robbed of their money, of their business. No person. That goes across all board. You shouldn't rob nobody. Try to make someone don't make a fast buck because they just been let out of prison or jail or something like that, or about to go to jail or prison because they done robbed somebody. But at the same time, you don't have to be put up. You don't have to put up with that. You don't have to put up with someone mistreating you. So the best thing to do is avoid their business. Avoid where you eat at. And like I said, if you can't go with some airway, you can't see the food being prepared, I would suggest not to eat there. Like, at least when you go, like, let's say Penn Station or Jersey Mike's or something like that. I don't know what your restaurant is. This is how it's in Ohio. You can see the people preparing your food, so you know that they're competent making your food. You can see them put the sandwiches through the oven and everything. With these foreign restaurants, you know what they're doing back in the kitchens. You know how clean that they are. And it says, this should be American model. It's time to support our own, like everybody else need to support their own. We have been the backbreakers of every other nation, and yet they continually feel like, even some people come up with entitlement to mistreat some of us. That shit should stop in 20 and going in the year 2021. That should be the model for African Americans. If you don't respect me, you don't respect my dollar. I'm not going to keep helping you continue to capitalize out of our community. That should be the model. And send a message and tell the ones who speak English, you translate that back into your language. You tell your racist grandma or granddad or something like that. Hold on 1 minute. Hello? Oh, jeez. I hate that when someone do that. Some crazy call. But anyway, yeah. That should be the model for African American. If they don't respect you, they don't like you. Don't deal with them. It's time for black people to get a backbone. That's the truth. And let them show them with your finances. Show them that we're not violent. We don't have to attack and burn and jump on you. We just avoid you. Just avoid you. Just treat you like you treat some. I've seen them treat us. Pretend like they're not even in your provision. Because they good at that stuff. They good at that. So you gotta treat them the same way. Like, like they look like, and that's their way. So that you don't connect to them, they don't connect to you. That's how you avoid racial conflict. Just avoid them. Stop going around their business. Just to make your own food. Shop in places that stuff. You can make some whatever different food. You can go on YouTube and make sushi and chicken and rice and stuff like that. You don't have to go around them people. Some of you mamas and grandmas can cook they behind off. And there's some people that can cook their behind off that's been over it. It don't take something just to look at the video and make the same kind of food. There's somebody in your family that can probably got the talent to open up a restaurant. I mean, just as good as vegetarian food / Asian food, Mexican food, and I've seen a brother out there in California he was making fajitas and tacos and stuff, just as good as the people that's come from over the border. You can do it, and I mean, you just have to put some time and some effort to it. And there's somebody in the black community. There's a good cook. There's some good cooks, regardless of gender or sexuality. There's someone that can cook their behind off in the black community. Cut them off, man, black people. That's what I'm saying. Until they learn to give you some respect. And that way you don't have to go in their rest, get caught on camera. Why are you doing this? Okay, is this the way you do stuff? And just get out and use your video saying this is what this business have done to me, and get it on video and let other people know. And then once you get on code as a majority, as a people, that'll get the message to them in their language, in their ways. We can't treat these people like this no more. Shoot, because they got common sense. I thought we could just degrade them. How do they understand what we're saying? Because black people belong to the Most High God, and He gives them the wisdom, the common sense, like He gave every human being on this planet wisdom and common sense. That's the truth. That's how you can avoid this. That's how you avoid it. Is that you just avoid them? Don't go up in their place. That's the solution. In other words, and this is how to avoid racial conflict with these other groups of people. And I know it's hard to believe that. But someone want to be racist and prejudiced against you. You ain't got to deal with that stuff. Excuse me. Excuse me. You ain't got to deal with that crazy mess. And I practice what I preach. When I go into a store, if it's a cheap dollar store, it's either Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar. I don't go into mall brand stores. If they don't hire someone, look like you, and speak like you, and respect you, and regardless if you might get a person, could be an individual as a bad person, is black, could be black or white, but I'd rather give it to that business because they can hire an individual who do have proper customer service, who probably won't have no biased opinion. This right now we're in the capital. Everybody is surviving for the resources. Every business of all walks of life. So if they want to act out ignorantly, whether they're a restaurant, whether they're a convenience store, whether they're a retail store, whatever, a gas station, whatever consumer buying place, whether you're going for mechanical services, getting your hair done, or anything in like that in between, you have enough talented people that will need to pick up the ball and support them in your community. Support the ones who support us, who love us, who respect us, and adjust their mentality to us. But they don't want to. That's the time, and they would get behind and support the African American community, because that's just common sense. But they don't want to support them. This is the year to cut them. This should be the year to cut them off. If they don't give you proper service as a customer, cut them off. And get it on camera, because always video is the awesomest thing about the 21st century. You got them being racist right on your phone. So that like that guy did down in Atlanta and his fiance. They caught it right on camera. That's what you need to do. Expose it. And now that owner went and see what he did was it was really slick. So look, which one of the famous blacks that they do, because they don't really go around our culture all like that. So they'll find somebody who will reach out to somebody. Tell them that we cool. Tell them that they cool, and they'll bargain with you. They'll give you some. You go into the stores or whatever. We'll give you free stuff. Whatever, because they know this, that when black people shut shit down, they shut it down. Most of us, if we would get on code like they did in South Africa, they shut that. They had the business was so bad. It was at M&M store that they had to get out of the mall. Them brothers and sisters in South Africa, the blacks saying, we ain't having this no more. You ain't gonna keep being racism, keep doing us like this, and they gonna display this in this part of South Africa. What they do, they shut it down, and they came on cold, and that's what I admire about them over there. They ain't him and haw. We gonna forgive, and it was a disinterpretation. No, forget that. Maybe we need racial sensitivity training. No, forget that. You did it the first time when you make those. There was a couple times this ain't the first time it's happened. They put a black person with big thick red lips and make it look like a cartoon character. They do this on purpose. Just to get a response. Oh, and then they act like who marketed this? You know who marketed this. You know it's gonna be offensive, and they're gonna play stupid. They know what they're doing. That we ain't gonna be able to read to the code. I keep telling, and you gotta keep telling these ignorant ass people, whether what language that they speak, God made us give us common sense. He gave the darker people on the continent common sense to see this stuff. And even though if I wouldn't speak their language and you were mocking, making fun of me, if I have a relationship with the Most High God, and you were mocking me, He's gonna come and deal with you in His way. Just like if I was doing that, He would deal with me. So what makes you think that you up on this hierarchy stuff? That because you high over another group of people, because they known to be uneducated, criminality, and born. What makes you think that? What makes you think that at any people you have that kind, and you're not going to suffer the consequences of where you're coming from? That's why you might go in the same poverty and despair and struggle like they do. Then you'll feel the wrath of racism in a magnitude like they do. as African Americans. Why they treating us like that? We ain't like those. We ain't like them. We don't go and shoot us. You don't understand. And for the people who think like that, you don't understand what time you're living in. America has always had that kind of prejudice. There's always been a segment of people in this society have always had don't care whatever, because if it don't look like them, don't understand them, they're not going to support them. And that's in mainstream areas. If they don't understand you, you piss them off, they call you out your name just like that. I've been around people like that. Then I've been around other people that talk about other racial groups, other people. Some other people that think they were better than me because of race. Well, the same people, you come across somebody that has some inner bigotry, and they'll do the same doggone thing. So whether you're being a bigot to somebody, and you think you're better than somebody, but remember, someone is being a bigot towards you. And saying, "Oh, look at those dirty black people over there. They just a criminal." Well, guess what? Guess what? You in America, because if your parents don't speak English and don't have a certain accent, there's some people here that will call you out your name. If they don't understand, I said that's how it is, and that's because it's a totem pole with some of us. So even though they might be prejudiced against me, but guess what? The next group of people, they're going to be prejudiced against you. So let's say if someone's being racist towards me and call me every racial epithet, this is how the way it go to my ones who's non-speaking English people learning English. They're coming towards you. That's the real America you don't know about. And sometimes they don't look like, the majority of people don't look like me speaking about other people in a derogatory way. But I've heard what they said. So you think you won over the totem pole. You're not. Because if they do this behind my back and they talk about you, what thing make you think the same people are racist or biased or prejudiced? It's good. Oh, well, see, I see why they prejudice towards them blacks. Because, see, I see what they do on TV. And no, if they knock us off, it's like they say, they come for you. And they're not going to like you. And there have been incidents that people who barely spoke English from different parts have experienced prejudice in America. Backward, hatred, called out their name because they believe they're part of a certain religion. Even if they came from the Middle East or they come from Asia, hell, I've seen them call out people that, and that even if they were Pakistani and they were from India, they put them in the same category as Arabs. No, you need to understand this how the way it goes. Because when someone could quickly offend us, that's the first thing people do. They think of a racial name, they call them out their name. That's in some form of America, some place in America, you're gonna come across some American who is like that. One may treat you all right, but the other one may not. That's the truth. So miss me with the totem pole classification, because it would be like me going over to Europe, right? And let's say from ancient times, from what I understand, and people used to look down on the lowest people they would look down before Africans were people who are gypsy. They were considered gypsies. Imagine me going over to some part of the world, learn their language, being part of their country, and I come across somebody who's gypsy. And I was thinking about this. How would I feel? I don't even know this whole story about the people who are gypsies. but not coming to the same prejudice and stereotype why these other group of people start mistreating these people who were, for example, were gypsies. And he said, well, this is what they do. And one person made a mistake. Now they didn't label the whole doggone people, all these people who were gypsies out and call them out their name. And let's say I go to Europe and had that kind of mindset. Then I come to the Europe with that kind of mindset. Stay away from those people over there. Why? Because they're the bad people. They're uneducated. And the reason why I'm pointing it out, because there's people that come from other places come over here and not getting the full story. I don't know their struggle. I don't know what the people, I'm just saying it as an example. I don't know what the gypsy people, what their struggle was, but I'm going to go along with a stereotype of people. See, this is, so I start mistreating them, so they come into my business or they come into my place, and I'm just going to mistreat these gypsy people. That don't make no sense, now do it. And I don't even know this individual, but just because he's a gypsy. Really. And that's the same mindset that is in America. It's the same doggone mindset. And yeah, in Europe is integrated like America. There's certain parts of Europe, but yet they like to keep it, you know, you don't find out till you step on the continent. Or some country over there, like, oh, I didn't know anything about these people, and you start talking their language or whatever, and understand what's going on, and the hostility and a hostile mindset. Well, I'm not like those people. Those people come from a dirty place. You don't understand. It's how classification things are. You don't understand racial problems. He's gonna be racist to the people because everybody else gonna be racist to him, and you ride along with it. And like I say, they attack us. They're coming for you. They're coming towards the Latino community. They come to the Asian community. They come to the Middle Eastern community, and they start attacking. These individuals start attacking. This has happened in America. And they just go off and just look what happened with 9/11. Yeah. Anybody that looks similar to a Middle Eastern person, they attack them. People, they will start these little incidents. And if you sound like you had a Middle Eastern name, then you'll get discriminated. This is the truth. So what I'm saying is, if you want them kind of people, then you automatically know. Why would you treat someone better? And this is just common sense. That's why it's common sense. Someone has mistreated you based on what accent you speak, what language you speak. Why are you going to do that to another person? You think because you above? Well, I'm educated. Well, and I said, yeah, but you're still isolated in the world, and you may have a few cool 2 or 3 people, and you can have 2 or 3 cool people in America, but the 90% can be racist and biased and racist in the mud. And say, what you saying? Can you speak English? I don't understand what you're saying. They don't care to try to understand what you're saying, because that's how some people in America think. And don't speak another language around them, they really get offended. Then they think you're talking about them. See, I'm with this. This is the truth. You need to understand. If you look down on our people, they're gonna look down on you. If they look down on us, and you look down on us, you ain't gonna be no different. I'm just gonna be honest. Hey, this is the truth about the human race in America. I've encountered it. I've lived a long time. I've seen it from all different sides. I've seen it displayed from all different sides. And one thing you don't know about black people, most black people are the most loving, forgiving people on the planet. You can still treat us like shit, just like our African counterparts. We'll welcome you. and do business with you and everything. Even work for you. Someone work for you. As long as you treat us right. That's all what it is. We'll give you 100. Most of us give you 100%. We ain't lazy. We ain't shiftless. God made it to put us in His skin for a reason. Just like He put you in your skin and give you your language for a reason. And so people, like, to get back what I was saying, I'm sorry to draw this out, but they need to understand that there's a consequence they need to pay, and it don't mean violence financially. Because once you understand the way of the world of the currency, spending dollars circulate throughout the community, dollars and credit circulate throughout, and then if it's being exposed, it can shut that down. That's what's happening now. Look what COVID-19 did. COVID-19 shut a lot of businesses down. You think I'm playing? You think what I'm saying is true? It's happening in your city or town where it's at. COVID-19 did this. Shut businesses down. They ain't coming back. Some majority were American businesses, business owners. Black, white, and everything in between. So what makes you think you can get around it? Because if that dollar ain't flowing through your community and supporting your household, you're going to feel the same effect that you did in your own country financially. Just like your American counterparts. Whether they your black neighbor on one side, your white neighbor on the other side. You're going to feel it. Trust me. That's the message. You're going to feel it. Ain't always got to be violent. I'm gonna call you out your names and spray paint your house or no. But I gotta go now. But you guys have a good one. Take care.